The day has finally arrived. Game 1 of round 2. The Wild taking on the Colorado Avalanche in Denver, Colorado. And we've got an extended pregame getting you ready for an 8:10 puck drop from Ball Arena. Pat Micheletti joins me, of course. Also, we got Halvey out there at Ball Arena. How you doing, Patrick? We just talked yesterday for Beyond the Pond, but now it's real. The moment is here, and we're ready to drop the puck on round number 2. You ready to roll?
I've been ready since yesterday afternoon, Kevin. Really excited for this series. I think a lot of people were waiting for this series to get going, and I don't know if one could say expected it, but here we are, and let's play.
We'll get into further detail about some of the ins and outs about tonight's game. And, of course, there's not good news from the injury report. But Halvey's got a big smile on his face there in the broadcast booth at Ball Arena. How is it, Halvey? Your boots on the ground. They're ready for Game 1 and in enemy territory.
It's the smallest booth I've ever seen in the radio world, the National Hockey League. So I know, it's really terrible. I've been rubbing elbows with, there's worse people to rub elbows with than Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell. So just an honor to even touch their elbows, let alone rub with them. But regardless, great atmosphere here already. I saw a ton of Wild jerseys already in Denver. It's an easy city to travel to, so we should see some visiting fans, plenty of them, out in the Ball Arena stands. But, it feels weird. It's awesome to still be playing hockey, to start another series anew. And we'll see what happens. This is the best team in the league, but I think we're pretty good too.
We welcome your interactions. Hang on, Pat. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Don't forget about we want your interactions. You can text us 64686. You can also watch us KFan.com/watch. That's where you can see Halvey in Denver, Pat Micheletti on your screen as well, and I'm down here at the Bob Kurtz Radio Center. They're having a watch party tonight. So if you have the inclination, you got an hour to get back down here and watch with your fans all across the great state of hockey right here at Ground Zero. Sorry, Patrick. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. Halvey said something about the best team in the league, and I don't know which team he was referring to.
Well, the President's Trophy
curious, that's all.
The President's Trophy speaks some words like the best team in the league. But, I think, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Sorry,
that's why
Halvey,
we have a 7-game series.
You're at a loss for words. That's okay, and that's rare. What's the weather like out there?
Up lower 70s. It's wonderful out here. We got a forecasted puck drop temp of 69 degrees. So the ice should be in great condition. That's for sure. Obviously, I wonder, too, you look at how the players, the amount of players, it was so beautiful out. They decided to walk from morning skate back to the hotel downtown. So, everybody's just kind of enjoying the weather here, enjoying the nice vibes of Denver, obviously, and it should be fun.
You mentioned that it's an easy commute for Wild fans if they want to go down to Ball Arena and watch the game in person. Are tickets a possibility? Like, you couldn't get a ticket right now to games 3 and 4 at Grand Casino Arena. Are tickets available there for a second-round matchup like this?
Well, they're always available, Kevin. But,
okay.
They're not always they're available to anybody, as Rosie would say. But they're not always within reach for those who like bank accounts and money in them. So. I'm sure there's ways in, but yeah, this is, you guys know. You work down here, Kevin. You know how passionate the hockey fans here in Denver are. They love their Avalanche, and this team has given them plenty of reasons to love them. You look at the banners, and they go almost all the way around the rafters of Ball Arena. Of course, the most recent one, 2022 Stanley Cup champs up there. So, tickets are not easy to get, but they can be gotten. And we're looking at the warm-ups here coming up in a little bit. The fans, they opened the doors up not too long ago, and there is a steady stream of green jerseys down there on ice level waiting for the Wild to hopefully flip a few pucks over to those fans with the big signs.
All right, Halvey, I have an easier question for you. Most teams around the league are showing the game outside on a big screen, and fans are showing up. Are they doing that in Denver also?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what the name. I think it was like Avs Valley or something, or what was that? Playoff Valley. So they just set up a temporary large screen right outside the arena with speakers and everything, and so there's a lot of fans that are going to be coming down here just to take in the game. Which, I mean, I already looked. It's awesome.
Why don't we do that in St. Paul, Kevin?
Yeah, there's been talk about that, I've heard, but and that's something that's something Tom Reed, right, would be able to just get
shut
done.
down 7th Street. And,
easy.
It'd be
easy
awesome. It'd be awesome.
Quite frankly, the city of St. Paul has shut down half the streets anyway. Why not? What's one little more city block to shut down for some hockey? I think they need to do that.
Hot button topic for Tom Reed, and we'll talk to Tom and Joe here in a matter of minutes. Before we drop the puck on Game 1, I've seen some texts come in and comments at KFN.com/watch. Kim says regular season is over. Only 8 President Cup winners have won the Stanley Cup.
Woo!
Not going to fact check you, Kim, but I like that stat, if that in fact is true. I've done a couple of radio hits in Colorado since they found out it's going to be the Wild and Avalanche. They're very haughty, and I get it. They've won Super Bowls, Stanley Cups, and NBA championships. When I was there in the late 90s, that was before John Elway won that first cup. That was before Uwe Krupp scored in double overtime to bring the Colorado their first championship. I mean, there was a time they were very Minnesota-like. Now, they've been on a pretty fantastic run the last 25 years, but you got to start somewhere, and why not for the Wild this year? First, you got to get past a very good Colorado Avalanche team, and I don't necessarily like their chances, Patrick, without Jules Eriksson and Jonas Brodin, but stranger things have happened. The Wild are a very good squad.
Well, I hate to take that pessimistic approach. Yeah, they're out. Deal with it, and I'm sure the team is dealing with it. And, a question I'm going to ask Tom and Joe is, how do they change their game? Do they change their game? Obviously, it doesn't matter if Eck is in there and Brodin is in there or not. You still have to find a way to shut down McKinnon and Makar, and also Lakeinen, who's been really, really good for him. But that's the key. Can they do it? Do they have to do it more in a team approach? Do they stick somebody on McKinnon, and who would that be? So I think there's a lot of questions, and listen, John Hines and staff, they're planning for this, and so we'll see what they come out with.
The lineup decisions, we'll see them in person here when they hit the ice for the pregame skate, but it's reported by America's favorite blogger, Michael Russo of The Athletic and TheAthletic.com, that Wild Insider, Michael Russo, that Danila Yurov is going to come in for Jules Eriksson and Damon Hunt is going to come in for Jonas Brodin. What do you think about those decisions? No Bobby Brink, no Hunter Haight either.
Well, I think bringing Hunt in on the back end, he skates so well. And, you're going to have to defend, and you're going to have to be able to move your feet. And I think he can do that. It's his first playoff game. So, they're going to have to ease him into it a little bit. But, I'm fine with that. He had a good season. And as far as Yurov, he's played all year. I'm for one that doesn't think that he was awful in the Dallas series, but when you make the play that he did, well, everyone's going to clomp on that one. But I'm sure he's looking forward to getting back in.
Halvey, your impressions of this series coming in after a hard-fought series against the Dallas Stars. Wild came out on top, and Pat and I have discussed many times, we feel like the Wild were the better team. The right team won that series. However, the Wild have only had a couple of days off. The Avalanche have been off a week after sweeping the LA Kings. If this was noon to 3, they'd say rust versus rest. How does this benefit the Wild? How does it hurt them not having that extra time off?
Well, that's obviously been a common conversation among the players and even the coaches with the media. Pretty much everybody asked about that, and everybody kind of gave the same answer. I know Hines basically said, I have to like it. We don't have a choice. This is just how it is. So we have to go forward with that. I also would throw in the fact that, you don't talk about it too much, but the altitude is one of those things too. You go from having to play and grind out a series against Dallas. And we said before even the series started that whoever was going to win was going to be rewarded with a quick turnaround against Colorado, and they're going to be beaten and bruised, and certainly the Wild are beaten and bruised. So, but I think, we talk about how you can kind of lose your game a little bit, get a little too rested, and so I think it benefits the Wild. I think they'll be coming out here and hopefully use the momentum and the good vibes that they got from Thursday night's win. But yeah, I think it's definitely obviously a valid concern. And the players, it's just got to go. They got to go back. I mean, quite frankly, in the regular season, a couple days off like they've had here would have been a luxury. So hopefully, maybe the season has helped train them a bit to get ready for a quick turnaround like this. But at the end of the day, it's a completely different season. It's a completely different type of hockey game, and there's something about we see how these players come out for a regular season game, and how they come out for a postseason game, and they find that next year no matter how little rest they got. So it might be certainly a factor, but I don't think it's deadly by any means.
What do you think, Patrick?
I don't think so at all either, Kevin. I mean, it's the second round of the playoffs. It's the most hyped series in the second round. Everybody wants to see these two teams play, and the players want to play, and they know what's at stake. So, I don't favor either team, one with the layoff, one not with the layoff. It's a new round. It's a new series, and they'll be ready, both of them.
It'll be interesting, though, to see what the pace is in that, in even just the first period of game number one. You think so?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Because Makar and McKinnon will be, and you have to match that. And so, and Minnesota knows that, and so that they're gonna come out at a very high pace also.
You made an interesting point yesterday, and knowing that Jonas Brodin wasn't going to be available for the first two games, we found out about Jules Eriksson as the show went along as well. But the Jonas Brodin factor in particular, so good at limiting the elite players in the National Hockey League, whether it's a Connor McDavid, a Nathan McKinnon. Brodin's not available. Does that role now, in your mind, fall upon Brock Faber? Is he going to be the guy that's got to be the shadow to Nathan McKinnon? Yeah,
100%. And you just watch what Colorado does. They're going to try to keep McKinnon away from Faber. There's no question in my mind on that. They're going to try to get him matched up with a Middleton or, occasionally, with the third pairing. And that's all about the strategy of the game, right? Try to get your best matchups out there. And so, obviously, Colorado will have the last change at home for the first two games. So, we'll see how Minnesota handles it.
Barb says Wild will be ready. We agree, Barb. Hopefully that's the case. Join us at wild.com/watch. You can also text us 64686. The other star I want to talk about is Cale Makar. We touched on it a little bit yesterday on Beyond the Pond. They've got Makar. The Wild have Quinn Hughes. What are their differences? What are their similarities? I think most people on their list would say Makar number one, Quinn Hughes number two, but I don't think there's a lot of separation between the two.
Well, I say different, and Hughes can do some things better than Makar, and Makar can do some things better than Hughes. They are the elite defensemen in the world. I don't want to say one's better than the other. I say different. And the one difference you'll see is Makar will like to get up in the play more often than Quinn Hughes. He'll like to join the rush. He'll like to carry the puck in the zone, where Hughes is more methodical, and he will pick his spots when he thinks he should go or not go. And so, to me, that's the difference between the two. Makar probably shoots a puck a little harder. Well, you know what? As long as it gets in the back of the net or you hit the right guy, it doesn't matter. So, two elite defensemen, and we're lucky to be able to watch him in this series against.
And not only Not only that, Pat, the top pair for both teams. Because, I mean, I think Hughes probably overshadows Faber a little bit. Makar probably overshadows Taves a little bit as well.
Yeah, I agree. And that was pretty evident at the Olympics. And hey, Devin Taves is a great player, and so is Brock Faber, and so you have the two best pairings in the world, and again, a pleasure to watch.
Real quick, we'll get back to you again here, Halvey. When we talk about the injury situation, we know what's at stake for the Wild. No Jonas Brodin, no Jules Eriksson. For the Colorado Avalanche, they're out one of their better defensemen in Josh Manson. How does that hurt them? I mean, I don't think anyone in Colorado realizes what the impact of a loss of a Jonas Brodin is for the Wild. What's the loss of a Manson for an Avalanche team? Patrick.
Oh, me. I thought you were talking Halvey. Well, he's a bigger defenseman, Kevin, and it's one thing that they lack on the back end is size. Yes, they picked up the defenseman.
Are you talking about the guy that Blankenberg?
Not
the guy that replaced him in the lineup.
But he's small
and Malinsky.
too. And Malinsky's small, but there's another one that they picked up.
Kulak, Burns.
Kulak, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
And he's got a little more size. And I think a big key, for Minnesota with the big bodies they have is that they got to pound them and they got to get them tired. And I'm not just, and it starts tonight, but it's got to be a recurring theme throughout the series. And, eventually you hope they wear down a little bit. Because they get back to pucks quick, they move the puck quick, and you've got to beat them there, and you got to pound them, and make them feel it throughout the whole series.
Halvey, for the viewers and the listeners out there that don't know, I know what you're doing out there. Tell them what your role is, not only in this pregame festivities, during the game, watching Joe and Tom. What is it that your role is out there, and how you landed at Ball Arena?
Well, I mean, there's been a great reaction, social media. If you follow the fan, KFAN 1003, of course, at Podcast as well. We've been tweeting out local, Joe O'Donnell's goal calls, the video of them at least, as the game has gone on. And so I'm doing that stuff, getting audio in the locker room for you, and just kind of being an on-site social media, radio Zach of all trades, if you will, and it's all the more important, Kevin. Obviously, we don't have the local TV anymore, so we are the only place now moving forward the rest of the playoffs for a local Minnesota Wild focused broadcast. So
hey,
we hope you join us.
Zach of all trades, don't think for a minute that Kevin and I don't appreciate what you've done.
Hey,
I agree. It goes without saying for me, for sure. I wasn't sure about you, but for sure, I appreciate it.
Oh, I do too. I mean, listen.
I heard it the other day when you guys thought I wasn't listening, so it was very nice to actually hear what you actually think about me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, right.
You were there in Vegas last year. You were there in the first round against Dallas. You're back in Colorado. Do you enjoy? I don't know how much time. I know you've spent time in Colorado. I know you've spent time in Denver. How much time have you spent in Ball Arena, and how much time have you spent in that general vicinity?
I love Ball Arena. I've come down here a few times. I got my uncle Dave lives down here, so we've made it a point to come down here whenever we can. And obviously, I celebrated my birthday here one year for a Wild Avalanche game. Got sworn at multiple times by a lot of fans in the staircases on the way down. I think we beat them, and the fans were bitter, and that was fun to see. So, but obviously, like I said, passionate fan base, love it here. Seen a concert here as well, 21 Pilots, that was fun. It's a wonderful building. They do a really, really good job here presentation wise, and it's a wonderful city. And like I said earlier, it's an easy one to travel to. So when that 26-27 schedule comes out, I highly recommend coming down here, taking in a game, taking in the city, going up in the mountains. It's unbelievable. Waking up in the morning here, guys, and looking west and seeing the Rockies. It's wonderful. It's beautiful, and I love it here, and I love this opportunity. So thank you for helping out with that. And
I did it for 5 years, lived out there, and the only reason I'm in Minnesota is because of the Minnesota Wild. Loved everything about Denver. I will give you a heads up, though, if the Wild were to win either Game 1 or Game 2 of this series, Jesse Trujillo might be one of those guys cursing you out. The engineer to your broadcast left. One of the best in the NHL, but he gets a little heated. He gets a little Mosier in him if the Avalanche aren't doing well. So just keep clear of his elbows. That's all I'll tell you.
No, we love Jesse. He's been phenomenal already, and I hope he's very disappointed at the end of the night.
Exactly. All right, Zach of all trades, I'm going to have you step aside. We'll take a quick break, and then when we continue, Pat Micheletti and I will continue our extended Wild pregame. We're going to join the voices of Minnesota Wild hockey on your radio. It's Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed live from Denver. When we continue, don't forget, puck drops at 8:10, and it'll be on your radio. And if you want to watch it on TV, that's fine. Hashtag mute TV and turn up Joe and Tom right here on The Fan.
Hi, this is Ryan Hartman of the Minnesota Wild, and we are back live tonight on iHeartRadio and KFAN.
Hey, business owners and property managers, you know this, but your parking lot is the first impression for your customer. And think about what it says about your business. Do you need potholes filled, crack filling, or seal coating, or a total lot replacement? Nugent Seal Coating and Paving can help make that first impression a good one. Nugent Seal Coating and Paving is Minnesota's preferred commercial asphalt paving, seal coating, and concrete contractor for over 30 years. So what are you waiting for? Contact us today at NugentSealCoatingAndPaving.com. That's NugentSealCoatingAndPaving.com.
Hi, I'm
sleep. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose.
$5,000 to spend in your classroom.
Thanks to you, more than 50,000 teachers have been recognized for the amazing work they do in classrooms across America each and every day.
$5,000 in school supplies.
so excited.
Congratulations!
We're helping get teachers the resources they need to inspire the next generation.
All the people who help our children to learn and thrive, it's a partnership. We can't do it by ourselves.
Just go to iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
This is why you listen to the Playoffs Live.
Quinn Hughes from the left circle, banked it in!
The audio home of the Wild is KFAN.
Down low, centering pass, they score! Joel Eriksson a one-timer!
When you have a player like him out that plays so many different situations, one player isn't going to take the brunt of that responsibility. On his power play responsibility, someone else will have to take that. His centerman 5-on-5, someone else will have to take that. His penalty killing. So we have, when you lose a guy that plays that many situations, you have to do it, I think collectively as a group, and it's not all on one guy.
The voice of John Hines talking about the fact that not only is he without Joel Eriksson, but also Jonas Brodin. How do the Wild fill that gap? By committee. Game 1 coming up here at about 8:10 in the Central Time Zone. Wild taking on the Avalanche at Ball Arena. I'm Kevin Falness along with Pat Micheletti. Welcome to an extended Minnesota Wild pregame. And now we go out to Ball Arena and are joined by Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed in the very cramped quarters that are the press box booth there at Ball Arena. Joe, you look very comfortable right next to Tom Reed, sandwiched in between Tom Reed and Jesse Trujillo. How's it hanging out there as we speak?
Just splendid, Kevin. I mean, this is what you live for, man. This is why you do what you do. This is why the players play the game. I'm excited. Yes, we're a little cramped in here, but you kind of knew that going in.
A little.
But we're good, man. We're good.
We certainly are cramped in here.
It's a little ways from the ice, and all of this is superfluous. I get it. That has nothing to do with the game itself, but this is one of your least favorite locations, right, Tom? Not only because the booth is cramped, but you're kind of away from the action a little bit and kind of not exactly center ice.
Who's screaming at us?
That's Pat saying you're too close to me. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Okay, hold on. I got to get this thing working here. You know what? It's not a bad broadcast location. It'd be nice if we're a little more to the center. I'm almost on the goal line, and that makes it a little more difficult trying to see the corners and so on. But as far as arenas goes, it's a pretty nice arena, and they've got some good vibes up here. But the press box, the owner, I guess, took 62% of it for his private suite so we could watch basketball, but we are stuck with the rest of it. We got all kinds of television crews in here.
Is that the math?
Yeah, that would be
actually,
absolutely right.
We got 3.8%.
Yeah, and I'm probably taking up 14% of that myself. So let's see where it goes from here. But it's this should be a really fun game. I think everyone's looking forward to this series.
Okay, guys. Eck out, Brodin out. It happens to every team in the league. Injuries occur. Does Minnesota go into the game tonight with a different game plan because of those two guys are out, or do they just say, hey, this is how we play, this is how we're going to continue to play?
Well, Pat, as you know, when you have injuries, somebody else has to step up here, not just one person, but get a number of the guys stepping up their game a little bit. But that's just part of the game. I mean, we understand that there's going to be injuries. And people are asking me near the end of the season, well, what do you think they'll do? I said, let's see who's going to be healthy. Well, for once, we were healthy when we started the series, but now all of a sudden now we're not healthy. So it can change in a hurry, and if it changes, then you got to alter your game plan a little bit also. I mean, Brodin's one of the best at tracking down and moving the puck out of his own zone, but also tracking down some of the incoming guys who are rushing in there and taking him out of play. He's such a good skater, but they'll certainly miss his presence.
Joe, when you look at this matchup, how do they then slow down Nathan MacKinnon? It's by committee, but we talked about it. Does the onus of the burden fall on the shoulders of Brock Faber? Does he become the new version of Jonas Brodin when it comes to shadowing Nathan MacKinnon?
I'll be interested to see what Jared Bednar wants to do here in Game 1, right? The Avalanche head coach, he's got the benefit of the last change, and now he knows that the Wild are without, their best defensive centerman and you could say their best shutdown defenseman, although Brock Faber would say, hold my beer. He's been that good. So it'll be interesting for me to see how Bednar plays it. What are the matchups he wants? And then what does John Hines do? Does he chase it? Does he try to have 43-7 out there against them the whole time? Does he go Middleton and Spurgeon? Is he comfortable with both? Sounds like Damon Hunt will make his Stanley Cup playoff debut. How much ice time do he and Zach Bogosian get? So I think a few questions that I can't answer yet as this series moves along, and even through tonight, we should get a little bit more clarity on what each coach is looking to do, how they feel about their matchups, and then we'll see who's playing well, right? Because if you're not performing, we know both these coaches, they'll flip things in a heartbeat to try and get the better matchup out there or try something different.
What about Colorado should concern Minnesota going into this series?
Well, they did win the President's Cup, did they not? So they're a pretty good hockey club. That should concern you a little bit, and that's where you have to up your game also when you're playing against one of the top teams. The unfortunate thing is that after this second series, 2 of the top teams in our conference are going to be out of the playoffs.
Right.
And that's too bad. And that really is too bad. But that's the way it's set up right now, and whether they change it or not is not up to us. No one's asked my opinion, so I'll just give it to you guys. I don't like it. I'd like to see it change. But, when you look at Colorado, they've got some high-powered guys. We know that. This is a team that can score goals. We know that. But they're also a team that can fluctuate a little bit. And if Minnesota can play their game and be good defensively and soundly, they'll have a good chance. But they have to win at least one game in this building.
I would just add on to that if you're out there listening right now on the extended pregame show and you're going to be with us for part of the network pregame show as we get into opening faceoff, listen to the conversation I had with Jack Capuano, Wild associate coach today, because we kind of get into some of the, I don't want to say the nerdy stuff, but the X's and O's in this game, in this matchup. And John Hines, when I had a chance to talk with him, echoed it. This is going to be a skating and transition-based series, where maybe the Dallas series was more forecheck and physical and win your battles and try and stay out of the box. This series has a different feel, and we haven't even played a second of it yet, just from talking to the Wild coaching staff. They know that if you are, if you're not responsible coming out of your own zone, tracking back, if you're not good coming into D-zone coverage on those line rushes against, you're going to have a tough time beating this Avalanche team. They love to play with pace. They have some of the game's best skill players. They've got depth up and down their lineup. The Wild have to check the proper way in this series or they've got no shot.
Tom, what do you make of the goaltending matchup? We know what we got with Jesper Wallstedt on their side of things. The numbers look really good for Scott Wedgwood. But I think Pat and I both agree. We've talked about it a lot on Beyond the Pond. We're not a huge believer in their goaltending tandem. They've got a great team in front of them, but can he do it when the lights are shining bright? I don't feel like the Kings gave him enough to think about.
The goaltenders are not going to win the games on their own. They have to have the guys helping them in their own zone. And when you look at a guy like Scott Wedgwood, he's a big body also, 6'2", 201 pounds, and now he's got some playoff experience. He's won 4 games, a goals against average of 1.21, save percentage is 95%, but that's not all on him. It's the guys in front of him also protecting him, keeping the puck out of the defensive zone as best they can in their own end, but taking it into the offensive zone on the other side.
Hey guys, Josh Manson out of the lineup tonight for Colorado. A bigger physical defenseman, and they put in Nick Blankenberg, kind of another smallish guy back on defense for them. How important is it for Minnesota to get in on the forecheck and just, and pound these guys and just kind of try to wear them out throughout the whole series?
Well, I think it's really important. I think it's important for Minnesota just to go and play their game and not get off of the plan that they've got. It worked very well against Dallas. We saw that. Minnesota, the one thing Billy Guerin did at the trade deadline, he bulked up this team. This is a heavier team. It's a tougher team, and I think a team that has a little bit of experience also. And he's got some depth with his club right now, and that's why we can interchange some of these guys coming in. But I think Minnesota's going to be just fine against them. But it's going to be from the drop of the puck. Those first couple of shifts are kind of set the tone for the entire series.
Joe, the last series we had Jamie Benn to choose from. We had Foxa. We had Rantanen. Plenty of villains. When this best-of-7 series ends and the dust settles, who are the Wild fans going to be most at odds with from the Avalanche, if you had to guess right now going in?
I think I heard you ask Russo this the other day, and he said Kadri, and that'd be a tough one to disagree with. But Gabriel Landeskog got 14 hits against the Kings in the 4-game sweep. He is a in-your-face type of player, maybe a little different than earlier in his career, right? He missed a lot of time. He's up there in age. But he's had a really good bounce-back year for the Avs, and he can be a pain in the you-know-what. So those two guys for sure. And, Ross Colton is a guy that plays one way. And he's got a Stanley Cup under his belt in Tampa, and he is a guy that plays north-south. He score some big goals for this group. And I'll give you one more, and that's Logan O'Connor. He might not be like a public enemy number one, a villain type guy, but the Avs missed him a lot this year. He had hip surgery in June. He came back for the tail end of the regular season. Already had a good impact in their first round sweep of the Kings. He's been here. He's done that. He won the cup with them a few years ago. I feel like Logan O'Connor's a guy that's just a pain in the butt. He's going to kill penalties, going to give you a lot of good minutes if you're the Avs. He's another guy that Wild fans, they might not hate him for diving or high-sticking or cross-checking Wild players, but they might be sick of seeing him as this series moves along.
Pat, you got one more for the gentleman?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the special teams a little bit, guys. And, you look at Colorado, right? And you would think, hey, these guys should have a unbelievable power play. But it's a power play that struggled a little bit. Minnesota kind of, Dallas's power play was terrific. What's the mindset of our penalty kill going into this series?
Well, I hope it's better than it was before. I mean, obviously the penalty kill for Minnesota's been horrendous. It's 15th out of 16 teams on that side. They've given up 10 power play goals and 25 chances. That's 60%. That is not a good number on the PK here. And thank goodness for our goaltender, because he has been absolutely terrific helping out this club, keeping that number where it is. But if you look at him, Jesper, I mean, he loves a challenge, and I think that's great. And it doesn't seem to bother him at all. The more shots, the more comfortable he gets.
Gentlemen, have a wonderful call. Can't wait to get this thing going. We'll be back with you shortly.
And Joe, thanks, get away from Tom, will you? Give him some
space.
Working on it.
Yeah. Hey, I need more space every day.
He's got a little bit more experience than you, Joe.
A little bit more.
All right. See you, boys. There you go. Joe
Thanks,
O'Donnell
guys.
and Tom Reed out there at Ball Arena, along with Zach Halverson, Jesse Trujillo, the whole crew coming your way here in about 5 minutes when the network joins across the great state of hockey and beyond. But for now, you and me, Pat, for the next couple of minutes, we get to put the final pieces in place as we get ready for this game. What do you want to see in this first period? I mean, nothing's going to be won or lost no matter what even happens in this entire game, but you can set the tone in the opening 20 minutes. What do you expect to see? What do you want to see?
Well, just match their energy. If they match their energy and come out even after the first period, to me, that's a win. And, Kevin, I look at the lineup of Colorado, and they scored 12 goals in the 4 games against LA. And Landeskog had 2, Lankinen had 2, McKinnon had 2, Waugh had 2, and Makar had 2. And really, you look at Nishushkin, Nietzsche, Brock Nelson, really were held in check. And so, what's their feeling or their confidence level on the offensive side going into this series? We'll find out.
I mean, what I'm excited about with this series is going into it, we're on a level playing field. There's a time where it was the men against the boys, the JV against the varsity. That's no longer the case.
No.
These two rosters are very, very similar. Kaprizov and Boldy, McKinnon and Nietzsche, Hughes, Makar. I mean, there's not a lot separating these two teams. The worst part about this is, though, you don't have Eck and you don't have Brodin. For how long, I don't know, but you're without him for the first 2 games. That could be a huge difference maker in this series. But just on paper, the Wild and the Avalanche are not separated that much. They can look each other in the eye, and the Wild don't have to blink. I think they should feel pretty confident that they can skate and run with the Colorado Avalanche.
And, Kevin, how many times have we seen throughout our careers at watching the National Hockey League, when a star player goes down or 2 go down, it's kind of like a pack mentality, and everyone just says, okay, I got to do a little bit more. We have to do a little bit more. And you see that a lot. So that's, whether it happens tonight, it remains to be seen. And it still may happen tonight, and they may lose, but we don't know. So, I think they're going to be ready to play.
And again, if you're just joining us, the reports are Danila Yurov will join up front in place of Jules Eriksson, and Damon Hunt will get his playoff debut on the back end in lieu of no Jonas Brodin. Real quick, we're starting round 2. Round 1 hasn't even completed yet. 3:34 left to go in regulation. Montreal with a 2-1 lead over Tampa in Game 7 of their best-of-7 series. So Montreal hanging on here.
Yeah, they did not have a shot on goal in the second period.
4 shots in the first, none in the second, and they've got 10 on the hockey game thus far. So pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah,
Patrick, enjoy the night, man. This should be a lot of fun. Buckle up. It's good. Hopefully a long and fun series. We got Beyond the Pond back on the docket.
Yep.
Wild Weekly, hockey games, extended pre-games. It's all back on the table.
Perfect. We'll see you Tuesday. Thank you.
All right, Patrick. There you go. Pat Micheletti from Parts Unknown getting us ready for game number 1 of round 2 between the Wild and the Colorado Avalanche. We'll break. We're going to hear from Jack Capuano. We'll go inside the Wild locker room, and we'll get you ready for the drop of the puck. Much more coming up with Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed as we get ready for this thing to get underway. Thanks for checking us out. You can find us more often than not, kfn.com/watch. You can also find us on your radio dial. You can also go to kfn.com/listen. For Pat Micheletti, Zach Halverson, Jesse Trujillo, Colin Landsteiner, and the whole crew, I'm Kevin Falness. Thanks for joining us for an extended Minnesota Wild pregame. Get ready for game number 1 coming up next.
Prior Lake Rotary's Lakefront Music Fest, July 10th and 11th in Prior Lake. Billy Idol, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, and Jefferson Starship Friday. Keith Urban, Jackson Dean, and Carly Scott Collins Saturday. Billy Idol and Keith Urban, July 10th and 11th. Buy tickets before prices increase.
Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall tire dressing. Plus, get 4 times O Rewards points now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You'll use the radio in your car more than anything else. When buying a new car, make sure the AM/FM is simple, clear, and convenient.
Don't miss Billy Idol and Keith Urban at Lakefront Music Fest, July 10th and 11th at Lakefront Park in Prior Lake. Billy Idol headlines July 10th with George Thorogood and the Destroyers and Jefferson Starship.
It's gonna be a long, hot summer. We should be together.
Keith Urban headlines July 11th with Jackson Dean and Carly Scott Collins. Buy tickets before prices increase at lakefrontmusicfest.com. That's lakefrontmusicfest.com. Produced by Prior Lake Rotary.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
Hey, it's Meat Sauce here, and when my spring cleaning list is put together, well, let's be honest, when my wife puts our spring cleaning list together, you know what isn't on our list? Cleaning our gutters, because we have gutter helmets. So all fall, all winter, when stuff is falling from the sky, mostly the trees, it doesn't get in our gutters. Gutter helmet is the absolute best. You know what they tell us? Never clean your gutters again. They have 5-star ratings on Google and the Better Business Bureau. Start your journey at gutterhelmetmn.com and never clean your gutters again.
For 45 years, Dish has been connecting America with the best in family TV entertainment and advanced technology at an unbeatable value. And that commitment continues with our new 45th anniversary special offer. Get the lowest price in satellite TV starting as low as $89.99 a month. In a world of rising costs and hidden fees, Dish stays transparent, reliable, and honest, just like our founders intended. Learn more by calling 888-ADD-DISH or visit dish.com. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Marnie Gellner for Surfside. Nothing pairs better with Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka than a day on the golf course. Made with real vodka, real tea, and zero bubbles, it's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Cheers to hitting the fairway and cheers to Surfside. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
To Miranda Lambert. Like horses and divorces. Chris Brown featuring Leon Thomas. Daddy Yankee and Shensia. And so much more. Open the free iHeartRadio app and search New to listen now.
From the Bell Bank family and employee-owned studios, this is FM 100.3 KFAN The Fan.
Take the leap. Make a splash. You want to keep up with your granddaughter. After all, she keeps you young. And a sore knee, back, or shoulder doesn't have to take that away. At TRIA, our physical therapists will help you treat whatever's holding you back. We use the latest therapy techniques and equipment to decrease pain and accelerate healing. With TRIA by your side, your body can do amazing things. Visit TRIA.com to make an appointment.
If you're replacing an appliance, you want two things, the right price and the right timing. I'm Angela Warner, and at Warner Stellian, you get both. Our appliance experts help you choose with confidence, and our team can deliver fast, install it the right way, and haul away your old one. And our exclusive savings and unbeatable values offer the best price guarantee. Save time, skip the stress, and get it done. Visit one of our 9 Minnesota showrooms or chat with the specialist and buy online at warnerstellian.com.
Yeah, very excited. Obviously, was a big win for us a couple nights ago, but putting that behind us now and playing a really, really good team, so we're going to have to be ready.
Quinn Hughes on the Wild moving on to the second round. It gets started tonight at Ball Arena. Kevin Falness in the Bob Kurtz Radio Center with the news and notes heading into game number 1 against the Colorado Avalanche. The news on the injury front, not good, as the Wild are down a couple of Swedes, at least for the first 2 games of this series. Both Jules Eriksson and Jonas Brodin are out. Neither made the trip to Denver. But the show must go on. To talk about that and more, Joe O'Donnell has tonight's Coaches Show.
Thanks, Kevin. Joined by Wild Associate Coach Jack Capuano as the Wild start round 2 tonight against the Colorado Avalanche. Game 1 in a few minutes on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network. Coach, congrats on getting past the Dallas Stars. What was Game 6 like, the feeling in the building, and how to be nice for the coaching staff to go through that handshake line knowing you guys are moving on?
Yeah, and I think you and I talked earlier in the year, our time is now, and that's kind of what it felt like. I think we were real confident of what we needed to do against Dallas, and it was a great series. They played well. They were a structured team. But at the end of the day, I thought that, we continued to play on our toes, play physical, got more pucks to the net, and it was a great feeling. As a coaching staff, like you said, it's a great feeling. But obviously for us, we try to guide these players. And they're the ones that are on the ice. They're the ones that are winning the puck battles and playing the game extremely hard. So, for them, I was extremely happy.
John Hines just mentioned how you learn things throughout a series, and in games 2 and 3 in particular, which didn't go the Wild's way. What were some lessons that the group took against Dallas and eventually made them, the better team as you looked over the course of the 6-game series?
Well, I think that's exactly right. I mean, like when we're at our best, we're playing north, we're playing direct, we're playing fast, we're not taking pucks back, we're not making whole plays in the offensive zone and allowing teams to get have stressed attacks and odd man rushes. It's simple with our team. Like there's structure, obviously. There's a framework that we built in training camp moving forward. But when we get away from that a little bit, and I think we all talk about that, and we gave up too many chances, and we're out of structure. And the structure will always protect you.
Wild assistant coach Jack Capuano, my guest, pregame show here from Denver, the Wild and the Avalanche game 1 in a few minutes on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network. How do you quickly turn the page now and get ready for the President's Trophy winning team? Well,
this is a totally different team that we're playing. I thought you'll see it as the series goes on. Dallas was a little bit more a ground and pound game, a physical game. This is a skating series. These guys are quick, they're fast, they transition well, but we've played them enough. Obviously, guys went through video the last couple days. They can see a clear vision of some of the things that they're going to do against us and what we're going to try to do against them. So, number one for us is our line rush defense, and that is a big part because not only do they de-join, but 88-29, their cutbacks, their delays, we have to be buttoned up as far as that goes. And then, obviously in the O-zone, they're pretty dynamic. They work as a unit of 5. There's structure there, but there's a lot of things that they like to do. And for us, it's a matter of whether it's the D-zone or whether it's our rush defense is eliminating time and space.
Obviously, huge loss with no Joel Eriksson and no Jonas Brodin for at least the first 2 games of the series. As a group, how do you try to withstand that?
Well, I think Matt Boldy said it the other day. It's next man up. That's what we always said. And we've gone through injuries at the start of the year, during the course of the season too. And guys have really, stepped in and played well. So it's obviously tough to lose those 2 players. Everybody goes through it. Ruby Hintz is out for those guys, right? They had some injuries as well. So we feel confident with the team that we have and the depth that Billy went out and got us this summer. So, but we just got to play high percentage hockey, and I do believe the guys that are in are going to step up.
Lastly, what's the most important thing for Game 1?
Game 1 to me is just making sure now that we understand that the shift times are going to be important. Like going through the series when we played them, like you come in the altitude, shift times, the shift lengths, just making sure that we change at the right time. They're a good transition team. To me, it's all the little intangibles that win the game. We talked about penalty discipline. We talked about special teams. We talked about goaltending. There's a lot of things that go into it. But for us, I look at it, we're not going to worry about what they do. We have to worry about what we do.
Appreciate your time. Best of luck in Game 1 against the Avs.
All right, thank you.
That's Wild associate coach Jack Capuano. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Joe. That is tonight's Coach's Show. As for the lineup, with Joel Eriksson out, Danila Yurov slots back into the lineup and will center Boldy and Johansson on the second line. And with Brodin out, rookie defenseman Damon Hunt will make his postseason debut. He'll be on the third pair with Zach Bogosian. Tom Reed joins next. This is Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
The state of hockey is thirsty. Let's open the gates and make a run. All we're asking for, Wild fans, is everything you've got. The first step in reaching new heights is getting your hopes up.
The Minnesota Wild clinch a spot in the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs.
Run Wild.
This is your way in. Become a season ticket member to score playoff tickets and more. Get in now at wild.com/forever.
Hey, Wild fans, spring weather is finally here, but in Minnesota, that can be unpredictable. That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable and friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling, who will do whatever it takes to keep your heating and cooling system running safely and efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, ask your local participating dealer about rebates or 0% interest for 60 months for qualified buyers. Find your local Bryant dealer at Bryant.com. That's Bryant.com, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, we've said it all year. Unfortunately, we've had injuries. It's that next man up, and whatever happens there. But it's it comes down to guys stepping up and making a bigger impact and trying to fill that void if there is one. And he's a huge part of our team and does so much for us. So we need guys to step up and help fill that responsibility.
Matt Boldy on the Wild pushing forward despite missing not only Jules Eriksson but also Jonas Brodin. Both will be missed to start this series. Tom Reed will not be missed because he's with us in Denver at Ball Arena. Tom, before we look at tonight, the sense of satisfaction and maybe for some even relief in what the Wild did in taking care of business against the Dallas Stars in the first round.
Yeah, you're right, but that's only the first round. There's 4 rounds to win the Stanley Cup, Kevin. As you know, you have to win 4 of 7 in each of those series, so you could play as many as 28 games or as few as 16 games, but you have to have at least 16 to win the Cup. But Minnesota did a good job, and you know what? Accolades to them also. They worked hard, and Dallas is a good hockey club. I mean, the top 3 teams, when you look at this team here tonight, the Avs and Dallas and Minnesota, those 3 were pretty well first, second, and third all season long in their conference. And the thing is that what you're looking for right now is for Minnesota to step up. What they've accomplished is great. What Colorado is great, has done, that's great also. But now you start to push on the gas pedal just a little bit more to make good things happen.
It was fun in that first round. They get past a very good Dallas Stars team. The reward is they face a probably even better Colorado Avalanche squad, and it was going to be tough to go up against them even at full strength. But how do you slow down a Colorado Avalanche team with no Jules Eriksson and no Jonas Brodin, Tom?
Well, you got to get in their kitchen a little bit, I think, to start with, to see if we can scare them a little bit. Minnesota's got a much heavier club than they had before, and hopefully that physical ability they have now will help them in their quest to win this first game. They have to win at least 1 game in this building. And so Minnesota right now has got to just make sure they do what they have to do and do it best. So there's no question that Minnesota is coming off a pretty sweet victory over the Dallas Stars. And you look at a team like Colorado, they've had a pretty good rest. They only played 4 games so far, so they've had numerous days off where they've rested and kind of re-energized themselves for this game tonight.
Yeah, they've been off a week. The Wild, meanwhile, played Thursday when they dispatched of the Stars, and now here they are in Denver, Colorado. One guy that's going to jump into the lineup, Danila Yurov, a healthy scratch down the stretch against the Stars, but he gets in, and not only gets in, jumps into a pretty prime role in between Boldy and Johansson. Do you think Danila Yurov is up to the task?
Well, we certainly hope he is. He's in the National Hockey League, and you know what? You have to learn, and the only way you learn is by getting into the mix of things out there. Right now, you want a guy like Yurov to see what he can do for this hockey club. And the 73 games he played this year, he had 27 points, so it's not too bad. But this is his first playoff competition in the National Hockey League, and hopefully he can handle the pressure of that and do some good things for his team.
We know how good guys like Boldy and Kaprizov were for the Wild against Dallas, and a guy like Quinn Hughes, Brock Faber. How about on their side of the ice? How good is Nathan MacKinnon? What makes him such a special talent?
His speed. I mean, his ability not only to speed, but also to react with speed when he's got the puck. He can move it. He can move it quickly. He's got he's probably the fastest skater in the league. I mean, when you look at him on a 1-to-1 basis, there's not too many guys who can skate faster than him. But he's been kind of the leader of this hockey club, and he wants nothing better than to have that cup once again. You look at his last 3 years, he's played 241 games. He's had 383 points in that stretch. I mean, here's a guy who knows how to pick up the points.
Yeah, he's pretty good. So too are you, Tom. That's Tom Reed out there at Ball Arena. We'll break, and then we'll get you the starting goaltenders. We're getting closer. We're about 10 minutes away from the drop of the puck in game number 1 between the Wild and Colorado Avalanche. So don't go anywhere. Starting goaltenders are next. This is Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
Not far away, but nothing close to ordinary. Grand Casino is right here, ready to surprise you with the ultimate staycation. With big games, better rewards, beautiful hotels, and entertainment catered to you. The thrills just never let up. So make the trip and feel it for yourself. Every mile leads to more at Grand Casino.
At CHS, we know what it takes to feed and fuel the world, to integrate a global ag and energy supply chain, to advocate for farmers in their fields and around the world, to build communities, invest in rural America, and empower rural economies. takes courage, conviction, commitment. It takes the nation's leading farmer-owned cooperative. It takes a co-op. It takes CHS.
I think it's only important if you win it. If you don't win it, you flush it and you move on and learn from it, right? I'm sure that's the way most people think about it. You obviously want to get off to a fast start in the series, no doubt about it. We're excited. We're excited to get back in front of our fans. It feels like it's been forever since we played at home, and ready to go.
Avs captain Gabriel Landeskog on the importance of game number 1 in a best-of-7 series. The Avalanche have been off for a week. The Wild played on Thursday. Tom Reed's got the starting goaltenders presented by Sherwin-Williams. Big question mark coming into the playoffs, Tom, is an exclamation point for the Minnesota Wild. How good was Jesper Wallstedt against Dallas?
Oh, is he starting?
I'm assuming so.
He is starting. Let me tell you, he's been absolutely great. He's played 6 games. He's won 4 of those 6 games. He's number 8 right now in the goals against average of 2.05, and he's got a save percentage of 90.4. But he's one of those guys also that has met the challenge they've been looking for, and hopefully that will continue with this team right now.
Wallstedt for Minnesota. Who goes for the Avalanche?
They're going to go with Scott Wedgwood, the youngster out of Etobicoke, which is a suburb of Toronto. He played 45 games this year, going 31-6-6, 2.02 goals against average, save percentage of 9.21. He and his other alternate goaltender, also Mackenzie Blackwood, won the William Jennings Trophy as the fewest goals against in the National Hockey League, 197. And that's not just on the goaltender, that's on the entire team.
Lineup report, I asked you about Danila Yurov stepping into a pretty big moment. How about Damon Hunt back on the blue line, making his postseason debut? What's he up against and trying to lock it down in that third pair?
You know, he played in 32 games this year for Minnesota, and he didn't get the goal, but he had 6 assists, and he's excited. I mean, he comes to work every day. I mean, you look at him; he's always with a smile on his face. And he got on the bus today wearing a shirt and a tie, which is unusual for the players today. But I said to him, "Nice tie," and he just kind of smiled and looked at me. And but I think he'll be ready to go. He's got that nervous energy right now, and that's what you want to have.
All right, Tom, enjoy.
Thank you.
Tom Reed at Ball Arena tells us it's Jesper Wallstedt against Scott Wedgwood. The starting goaltenders presented by Sherwin-Williams. Shop the Sherwin-Williams Super Sale and get 30% off select paints and stains May 1st through the 11th. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See stores for details. The lineup report, you know, the Swedes are out. 2 of them, Jules Eriksson and Jonas Brodin, will miss at least the first 2 games of this series for the Wild. Danila Yurov is in on the second line. Damon Hunt on the third pair with Zach Bogosian. For the Avalanche, that is, Josh Manson is out. Up next, Joe O'Donnell getting ready to drop the puck in game number 1 of round 2. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hey, why are you bowling wrapped in a blanket?
Oh, this? It's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the confidence I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
Okay, but what are you going to do about that 7-10 split?
I've got it covered.
Wrap yourself in the feeling of confidence. Learn more at Securian.com. Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
Wild Hockey is an exclusive presentation of the National Hockey League and the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
Good evening
State of Hockey and friends, and welcome to Ball Arena here in Denver, Colorado, where we welcome you to round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's game 1 between the Minnesota Wild and the Colorado Avalanche. Glad to have you along. Welcome aboard, friends. Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed here with you. Well, Tom, on Thursday night, the Wild punched their ticket to the second round, the Central Division final now, if you will. And they did so by beating the Dallas Stars in that 6-game 5-2 back in St. Paul. Second time ever clinching on home ice in Wild playoff history. And as you reflect back now, a couple days after the series is over, what jumps out to you the most?
How much fun it was. Really fun. Not just for the players winning the pressure on them also, but for the fans to really enjoy watching it, to clinch it on home ice and be able to advance to the next round. So it's going to be a hot commodity, I think, getting tickets for the rest of this series. And beyond that, if Minnesota can be successful in this one.
All right, not a lot of turnaround time for the Wild, right? Thursday night is game 6. Friday, you know, you kind of just pick up the pieces, try to rest and recover. Now here we are on Sunday, and this is game 1 already. So not a lot of practice time, not a lot for the Wild to really think about. They've got to turn the page and move on. And John Hines has talked about a different challenge that this Avalanche team presents from Dallas in a couple of different ways. But what challenges do you see from the Avs?
I think the biggest thing when you look at the Avs right now, they are the speed they have, the transition game they have out of their own zone is tremendous. They've got that defense, that blue line that is so good, so adept at moving the puck out of there, getting the offensive zone, and once they get in that offensive zone, look out, because they like to circle, they like to move that puck, they move their feet, they do everything. So Minnesota has got to meet that challenge and do the best they can defensively in that area, secure the puck and get it out to the other side.
One thing I loved about John Hines' post-game comments after winning the series against the Stars, he talked about how this team plays for one another. How important, as a former player, how important is that?
You don't win unless you're a team. I mean, you really have to play together, and you have to know that everyone's on the same page. So you got to be ready. Once that puck is dropped, you work together as a unit, and you win as a unit, you lose as a unit.
So the Wild with that 5-2 win in Game 6 are 20th all-time home ice win in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Again, first time out of the first round since 2015, led by Quinn Hughes with 3 points in that hockey game. The Avalanche have been off since last Sunday when they swept the Kings, winning Game 4 in LA, 5-1 the final. And so they've had a lot of time to rest and practice and get ready for this opportunity. Opening faceoff from Denver after this. It's the Wild, the Avalanche in Game 1 of the second round. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino.
Not far away,